On Ilkley Moor by Tat. I grew up right hearing this song. On Ilkley Moor by Tat, on Ilkley Moor by Tat, and I'm not really familiar. I am familiar with it, but I don't. As a kid, I grew up, and I still live in West Yorkshire, and Ilkley Moor by Tat is actually Ilkley Moor without your hat. Because in South Yorkshire, you know, like today, they might say something, hey, come out, bite your coat. Have you come out without your coat? You see, it's a way of like abbreviating, you know, it's a colloquialism or whatever. Bat, without, bat. Come out, bat. You don't move, bat, without your hat, bat, hat. But as a kid, you see, I was unfamiliar with this particular vernacular. I grew up watching the telly. So I kind of grew up with the Queen's English almost. Perceived English. Oh, I think it's perceived English. And I always thought it was on Ilkley Moor by Tat. I was wondering, there must be a location called Ilkley Moor, located near a small hamlet of Tat. That's what I thought as a kid. Because I was unaware that bar tat meant without your hat. I soon learned that, you know, that's what it was. You know, because there's always a long-winded explanation of this song, and essentially it's the broad brushstrokes are this group of people some time ago, back in the good old days, they went for a day trip, as was often the case. These day trips would be like, you know, a social group of people. It'd normally be like a church group, because that's really the groups there were back in them days, back in good old days, back in the days of black and white. And you know, they'd go out together somewhere as a group. Well, it turns out one of the number hadn't been seen for some time, and the speculation was that, you know, where have they gone, where have they done? And then they reappeared, you know, and it was apparent that they didn't have their hat on. Again, back in the good old days, not wearing your hat was somewhat of a social faux pas. And also speculation that this individual was like courting, was in the throes of courting one of the other people in the group. It had been a heterosexual sort of hookup, you know, back in them days. They didn't entertain any sort of, you know, gender fluid caper. No. Well, I suspect it was actually, you know, back in the days when homosexuality itself was illegal. It was illegal. Imagine that. But yeah, so this individual, like, you know, it was speculated that they were knocking off this broad by the name of Sarah Jane, I believe is one of the names that appears in the song. And much speculation in the group as to, you know, what this individual had been up to, and that they hadn't got their hat on, and if this were a regular thing, they might catch the death. Be catching the death, and I think it went as far as they'd get buried up on moor because they'd be dead, and then worms would eat them. They'd eat the decaying corpse, and then birds would eat the worms, and then the rest of the party weren't dead because they'd had the foresight to, you know, wear the proper attire for that, for Ilkley Moor. They'd be, you know, they might have occasion to be eating some birds, and these birds might have been feeding on very worms that had fed on the decomposing corpse of the particular individual involved, you know, and this party of essentially fucking nosy cunts, really, you know, would be having to eat the, you know, by a degree of separation, the rotting corpse of their colleague, you know. I mean, to my mind, it'd be pleasant justice for the nosy twats, you know. sticking their name. Oh, where have you been? Where have you been? Oh, you haven't got your hat on. Where have you been? Yeah, well, I've been spuds deep in Sarah Jane, yeah. Giving her a right good one. Aye. Her fucking eyes were rolling and lot. Nice one. You know, I would have found that far more entertaining than the banal drivel, as I see it, of the actual song. It just fucking triggers me every time.